This is an unusual bundle that I have received from Banggood, but more on that later. And due to the unfortunate weather in the UK, it's all I've got to fly today, so I thought I would build it despite there being no instructions at all. It is a paper-style foam aeroplane ready to fly kit, but you're not given the glue, so this is Yoo-hoo Paw, and the way that you apply it is to the foam, and then this is a carbon rod here to strengthen it, and you sort of squish it together, leave it for 5 minutes, and then press it back on, and the glue will stick. So I'm just doing that with one wing now, and then you do it with the other one. Now, as I say, no build instructions, so I'm just guessing here. This is sort of like a strengthening plate that goes on the top, and again, just sort of apply it and take it off for 5 minutes, and then put it back on, and it sort of just sticks there in place. Yeah, I'll talk more about what you get in the kit, but this is the elevons and the control horn going on, sort of just clicks into place. And this is the other one here. You're given a radio in the package, which I'll talk about later. They give you some tape in the packaging, but I decided to use Yoo-hoo Paw for everything. So this is sort of like the underside, and we've got this sort of graffiti on the pattern, but again, just sort of loosely sticking it together and then leaving it for 5 minutes each time. And the same with the other side. So I'm going to be flying this indoors today because we have torrential rain. It's incredible. We've got floods everywhere. There's a carbon rod here for strengthening it again. As there's no instructions, I use some of the tape that is provided in the package, but I'm sure you could glue this down as well, but this seemed to work anyways, just to strengthen the whole thing up. And then again, some Yoo-hoo Paw along the top. You don't want to use foam safe Sino with this, it is just messy. I did try that, but to no avail, so Yoo-hoo Paw was the best solution for this. And leave it 5 minutes, and again you can see that it will just press together eventually. It's pretty much ready to go at that point. And you can peel it off if you've made a mistake, so that's the good thing about Yoo-hoo Paw. I don't think you're meant to glue the motors in, but I did anyways. Those props, they just fly off very easily, and you can put them on very easily. Just feed the wire through here. Something disappointing about this is that they didn't use differential thrust, so they are contra-rotating, so you know you don't get any torque problems, but I think they could have done more with the differential thrust. So just a bit of tape here for the elevons. They give you loads of tape, more than you would ever need. As I say, it's an unusual package, as I'll show you later. Just using some of this here, a little bit of a gap, so there's enough room for the elevons to move up and down. Do that to both sides, so that there's plenty of movement there. And then this is just me taping down the carbon rod. I asked Banggood for some instructions, didn't get any. And then this is the servos going in, so those glue in as well. Do that for both sides. Again, just tacking them in, and then I've cut it where I've waited 5 minutes for them to stick in fully. This is the flight controller board. It's not really a flight controller, it just sort of sorts out the control and the power. This is me centering the servos. It comes with a transmitter, so I plugged the battery and centered the servos and put this servo horn on for both sides, and then you get a little screw, so I screwed that in. Then just powering it up, and then with the transmitter, which I've converted to mode 1, just checking that the mixer works. And this is some heat shrink, a very unusual way to have control rods. It's just heat shrink and some hooks around there. So the idea is that you sort of use a torch to shrink the heat shrink, and then the hook stays in place, and then that hooks around the horn on the control surface. I had to cut that rod short. I think it's carbon, and with the servo centered, I'm just putting the other hook around the servo horn, and then just using like a lighter to shrink that down and making sure that it works fine, and it seems to work, and the same on the other side as well. And you can see there we've got elevator and ailerons. That's working fine. And then just plugging the motors in, and a bit of U-hoo port again on this little control board, and using the same technique again, so sort of squishing it down, and then you know, leaving it off for 5 minutes, and then putting it in place. And this is the finished plane. This is the rest of the stuff that you're given in the package. We've got a lanyard, which I didn't use, this hot RC transmitter, which costs about 9 GBP, so not sure the entire price of this package matches up what you could get if you just bought everything individually, but there you go, they've put it in a single package. This transmitter I've converted to mode 1, which is easy to do. You just take the back off, swap the pots over, and there's a little solder short that you have to solder up, and then it's a mode 1 transmitter. It's got a mixer built in for the elevons, and had to reverse a couple of these. Say it's a very cheap transmitter. It takes 4 AA batteries. What's interesting is it's got a trainer port on it there, and it comes with this dongle here. So this is like one of those simulator dongles that you can buy from Banggood. It doesn't come with the software, so you know, it's for like Real Flight and the Phoenix RC simulator, but it actually doesn't come with the software. See there, Aerofly, Real Flight, and Phoenix RC. They are not legitimate dongles, they are hacked dongles. However, there's a joystick mode, so I guess you could use it with you know, something like the official Real Flight simulator on Steam. Just use it as a joystick. Very unusual package, I have to say, but again, these are very cheap on their own. We've got a charger for the Lipo, which is currently in the plane. It's like a 300 milliamp hour Lipo. I've actually found that a 500 milliamp hour Lipo is much better than the one that is provided. I guess it can provide more current than the Lipo that they provide. You get given spare props, so 2 sets of props, which is good. They don't break, but they pop off very easily. This, I don't know what this is. I wondered if it was some kind of hinge, but again, no instructions, so didn't use that. Doesn't seem to need it, but you know, there you go. No instructions. Awesome. Something I have done to make things more interesting is attach this 3-in-1 FPV camera. I've just tapped into the VBAT, and these cameras are fantastic. Again, just U-hoo pour at the front, and hopefully we'll have an indoor FPV paper aeroplane. Oh yes. Not quite a loop. This is a bit heavy with the camera on. Does a roll still. Kind of get it through the gap in the roof. Yeah! Oh, nice bit of following there, Phil. Yeah, it's like £8 worth of foam or something. See if you can land in that middle bit there. Oh, you actually did! I want that DVR off you.